दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, chapter 7, verse number 6. And this is a description about King Bharat, son of Rishabdev. We read how Bharat was installed as the king of India after his father Rishabdev retired, and Bharat was very great, and it is on his name that India got its name as Bharatvarsha, which is the official name of India. So we read that he married daughter of Vishwarupa, Panchjani, had 5 sons, and he was running his kingdom very nicely, protecting people, and he was a great devotee of the Lord, and he performed the various types of yagyas which were part of Vedic culture in the olden days, which included Agnihotra, Chaturmasya, and Darsha, Purnamasa, Somyag. So the question which was raised was that how is it that being as a devotee he was performing the yagyas, because yagyas are usually performed for the devas like Indra, Varuna, Chandra, etc. So in the commentary it was explained, and also it is written in the verse that he was worshipping the yajna, and by doing this yajna he was worshipping the Supreme Lord, and he was doing oblations to the various gods, which has to be done if you do the yajna properly. And then he was meditating on them as limbs of the Supreme Lord. As in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna shows his universal form, where all the various devas are seen in his own body. So it was as if he was worshipping the various bodily parts of Krishna by pouring oblations to these deities. And then there was talk about this Apurva, which is a part of Purnimansa. There are two different opinions. And then where does actually the Apurva reside? Apurva is the outcome of the yajna, which gives the result in future. It is an intermediary link between the final result and the action of yajna. So whether this Apurva is residing in the person who is performing the yajna or in the deity for whom it is being performed. If one is doing Sakam yajna, then it will reside in that person because he will get the benefit. When he has to go to heaven, then Apurva will become manifest and give him the benefit in heaven. But if one is doing it as part of devotion or for the pleasure of the deity, then it will reside in the deity because it is for their pleasure, so they will get the benefit. That's why the Asuras, they always want to stop the yajna, because by doing the yajna, the deity is getting power in these devas, and Asuras are against the devas. So they know that if people continue to do the yajna, then the devas get their power, and if the yajna is stopped, then they become weak, then they can attack them and take the kingdom of heaven. So, but there are various devas, and again, how was it possible for him to think of many? So then it was said that the real agent is the Supreme Lord, because every action you perform happens only by His permission, by His authority. And the person who is doing the yajna is as if employed or works under the control of the Supreme Lord. So in that sense, the Apurva is actually going to the Supreme Lord. This is what we was reading. Yajna bhog yajna krid yajna iti tannam smritescha. So he is quoting some statement that yajna bhog yajna krid yajna. Yajna is the name of Lord Vishnu, that he is the doer of the yajna and he is the enjoyer of the yajna. Bhoktaram yajna tapsam sarvaloka maheshwara. Krishna says that I am the enjoyer of all the yajnas and all the penances, and I am the master of all the lokas, of all the planets, of all people. So if one performs even a yajna with the devotional mood, then it goes to Lord Krishna, therefore he is called yajna bhog. Tasya asvatantra kartritve api अज्ञानाद अहं करोमि इति स्वस्य स्वतंत्र कर्तृत्व मननम एव कर्तृत्व गमकम बंध कारणम च ज्ञेयम्. So although every living being is not independent in performing action, because nobody is independent, we are dependent on many things. To walk on the ground, if there is no earth, where will we walk? If you have to perform some activity, then you need some place to do that. So that place is also the cause. If there is no place, then there is no action. So ultimate support of everything is God. And therefore He is the only one who is independent. So we are dependent agents. But if we think that we are independent, then we become bound by the karma. So bondage in karma happens only because of thinking that I am independent, and therefore I am performing an action and I will enjoy it. So then only one becomes implicated. If one does not think like that, then one will remain free from all karma. Then karma will not become attached to that person, although he may do anything. And Krishna says that I am always doing actions. Namam karmani limpanti. He says that the karmas, they don't bind me, Krishna. Why? He says, Name karma phales priya. Because I don't have the desire to enjoy the fruits of the karma. He just does them his duty. So, iti matva bhajante. One who knows this and worships the Lord, karma bhirna sabadhate, he is also not bound. So even knowing this, one becomes free from the bondage. So he is always acting. Vartayevacha karma. He says, I am always doing karma, but not bound by it. So bondage comes only when one thinks one is independent doer. Atmano napunyam evam bhavnam eva. So this is called expertise of the person. The person is considered as an expert, agent, or a worker or a karta if one acts in a way that one does not become bound by the action. If you perform an action and you become bound by that action, then action becomes superior to you. Only you are the one who is doing the action. So this he says is napunya, expertise. This is the mastery, that you do the action and don't get bound by it. So that's what was said, Atmanapunya. Tena mridita kshina kashaya. So by doing this, one will become free from all the desires, or even the very seeds of desire. So karma vasana atmaka. So we perform actions and we become bound by action. But even if you don't perform action, that does not mean that you will not be bound, because there are seeds, there are subliminal desires inside, and they can come up any time. So real thing is not to become free from action, but to become free from these subliminal desires, the vasanas. And if you don't have those vasanas, those desires, or even the seeds of desires, and you perform action, then that action is not going to bind you. So Bharata is therefore called here as Mridita Kashaya. And if he had no seeds left in him, you could take the grain and you fry them. So once you fry them, they are still the seeds, but now they are fried seeds. They cannot sprout anymore. Put them in the ground, they will not lead to further plant or tree. Otherwise, every vasana, every desire we have, it leads to more desires. It always leads to more and more desires. Even when a desire is fulfilled, it will leave some traces, and they will force you to desire more. So it's like you have a tree, the tree may die, but it has given some fruits and the seeds, and those seeds will give rise to more trees. So like that, every desire we have is going to create more desires. But if these desires are fried in oil, then they don't know. So that is called Mridita Kashaya. Advaryubhiriti anene tatha vidhanam bhaktanam कर्तृत्वादि अभिमान शून्य नाम कर्मफल त्यागी नाम स्वप्रति मूर्ति द्वारा कर्म करणमपि कर्मणि श्रद्धा राहित्यात् कर्म करणम एव ज्ञेयम्. So here it is said that he was performing this havishu advaryubhir viriyamanesu sayadmana, that he has engaged these rituals these priests to perform the yajna. He was not doing it himself. So they become a representative. So those who are interested in pure devotion, the devotees, they don't have this ego, this pride of doership. And they do not want the result from this karma. So they renounce yat karosi yadasnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi konte tat kurusu madarpanam. Krishna says, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice, whatever penance you perform, whatever charities you give, anything you do, make this as an offering to me. So when one does like this, Narayana iti samarpiyet, you make an offering to Lord Narayana, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, then you become free from the karma. So one has the representative and they do the karma, sapratimurti dvara karma. So that is as good as not doing the karma. Why? Because they don't have faith in karma. Their faith is in bhakti. So when Krishna says sarv dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, that you give up all dharma, this giving up does not mean giving up physically, but giving up the faith in them. Otherwise Arjuna, after hearing Bhagavad Gita, he was still fighting. He did not give up. He was a Kshatriya, and as a Kshatriya his dharma was to fight. Krishna said, give up your dharma, take shelter of me. So why was he fighting? He was actually not interested in fighting to begin with. So the meaning is that now he understands that karma is not what is going to lead me to the ultimate goal of life, to surrender to Krishna. So now he is fighting, not attached to the fruits of his fighting. And he is offering this to Krishna. So karma from tyaginam, then this performing, then this fighting is as good as not fighting, as far as the karma is concerned. Otherwise those people who get killed in the battle, they go to heaven. So it's also an act of dharma, like Kshatriya. So Arjuna will not go to heaven. So Dyotitam, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapas tat kritam chayat asaditi uchyate partha nachat pritya nohi. That if one performs an activity of karma yoga or karma kanda, following the path of karma, but does it without shraddha, whether it is giving charity or doing yajna or doing some kind of a tapasya, some vrata, then it will not give benefit if one is not doing it with shraddha. So it's not just doing the action, one also has to have faith in it. If one does not have faith in it, then mere activity is not going to go very well. So therefore faith is important. Since a devotee does not have faith, as he says that tavat karmani kuruvita na nirvidyate yavata mat kartha sravanadava shraddha yavan na jayate. Because devotee's faith is in devotion, in hearing Krishna Katha, chanting his name, doing japa, etc. He doesn't have faith in karma, that I have to do this Agnihotra, I have to do Purnama, I have to do Dasa, I have to do Somya. Devotee does not have faith in this. So even if he is doing it, but since he does not have faith in it, he will not get the result. So that's the important thing to know. अतएव अम्बरीश आदि नाम शुद्धया भगवत भक्त्या एव यापित अष्टयामा नामपि पितृ पैतामह सदाचार परंपरा प्राप्त यज्ञादि कर्माचरण प्रतिनिधि द्वारा एव श्रूयते. So there were great kings like Ambarish Maharaj. He was ruling here in Mathura long ago, in Satyayuga. So he was great devotee. His story will come in the 8th canto, 9th canto. So he passed all his time in pure devotion. Although he was a king, but he was not really looking after the kingly duties. Everything was done by his representatives. Because there it will be described that he engaged his hand in Tanmandir Marjanadu, cleaning the temple, his tongue in chanting the name of the Lord, his eyes to see the form of the Lord, his feet to go to the temple and holy places. He used all his bodily limbs only in devotion. So obviously then he has no time to do any karmakanda activity. But he still followed the sadachar, the tradition, which his father, great grandfather means, which was tradition in the family. So in family there are certain traditions. On certain occasions you do some worship, some puja, some ritual. Right? Good Friday comes, you go celebrate it, Easter, celebrate. So you have Holi, Diwali, all these festivals. Many things are done in India, some types of pujas. He was also doing it. So this was just a tradition. He didn't have faith in it. He was engaged in devotion. So how was he doing it? That he was not personally performing it. He was doing it through his representative.